at the same time, you can use it for something that's actually happening now, even though it might not be that. For instance, if you look at my Instagram, I put up, I get memes and videos, I get short clips, and it be funny stuff, but I try to make it, because that's how I use it to talk to the people, because their attention span, they're not going to listen to something deep. They're not going to read all of that. So you hit them with one scripture with something comical. You understand? Now the scripture, it goes to that, but it really doesn't go to it. But you can make it fit that. You understand? We're not giving a whole breakdown, but it's giving an understanding to what's happening in that visual of the meme or a short clip. So there's a spiritual New Year and there's a physical New Year. Right now we're going into our physical New Year. So, and then also you got brothers and sisters that are celebrating the New Year next month in April. Now, are they wrong? No. Are we wrong? No. People got to understand the new moon, it determines the feast day. It determines the new year. It's not March 1st. So we're technically, we're basically going into April. You understand? But Esau, there's a whole breakdown on that, but Esau, is because of Esau messes with the calendar. He gives you the leap year. He gives you the 31 days in certain months. We got 28 in February. We got 30 in the other month. So it's a lot of sorcery. But how do you know we're in the new year? Look around. Is the weather changing? The weather's changing. You see, there's my rib's favorite tree is called the apple blossom tree. I see that thing sprung out. That's the white is white leaves on it, and it's called apple blossom. And then they got pink ones.
And the dogwood.
And the who wood?
The dogwood. They blossom with the cherry blossom, and the ones you're talking about.
Oh yeah. And I if you look around, they blossoming already. You see, so we are in the season, and there's nothing wrong with the brothers celebrating the next month. So let's go into the Exodus 13th chapter, starting from the first verse.
This is Exodus chapter 13, verse 1. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whosoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both man and of beast, it is mine.
Right, the Most High, everything belongs to him. Not only for the Feast of First Fruits, but all year round, all your life. The firstborn of everything belongs to the Most High. Okay, go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out of Egypt.
So remember this day that when we came out of Egypt, go ahead.
Out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. Therefore shall no leavened bread be eaten.
Right, so this is something, this is going into the Passover now, but this is something you got to keep in remembrance, that we're in the anniversary of when we actually came out of Egypt. So as many Passovers, I heard this from an elder before, the more Passovers we have, the more Passovers we have in remembrance is the closer we have to our next Exodus. You understand? So we're a year closer now. Okay? So just keep that in mind. This is the memory. This is what we're remembering during this month also. It's not just Passover is during this month, but this is that season. This is when it happened. Just like people think that they celebrate Jesus Christ's birthday on December 25th. That's when they're all in the mood. So we supposed to be all in the mood of remembrance and thanking the Most High and remember when we came out of Egypt. That's the reason why he tells you so many times, I am the one that took you out of Egypt in the scriptures. Many times, over and over and over. So we supposed to remember this here. Okay, go ahead.
This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
This day came ye out in the month of Abib. So Abib is and that's the top of the top. You know, we came out with everything being new. You know, that's why I tell you also, Yahweh shall tell you, give me that real quick. Pray that your
Don't flee
in the winter. Pray that your flight is not in the winter. You know, we hoping we could be out here during this time, because you don't know what you don't know what could happen. If we in war and everything and it's freezing, I mean, we better off down here, but up top, HOI Buffalo, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? HOI Detroit and Chicago, good luck with that. You know, that's brick up there. Okay, give me that one you got.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Shabbat day.
Right. So, and why you don't want it to be on the Shabbat day? Because you have peace, you have rest, you know? So, just pray that it don't be. But that's kind of like a hint that it might be. You see? So, the Most High He gives us breadcrumbs to follow the breadcrumbs. Give me Exodus 23, all right? Exodus 23 and Shema. Start from the 14th verse.
This is Exodus chapter 23, verse 14. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year.
Right. So now when people see that, they be like, well, see, we don't got to keep the new moon. We don't got to keep this and that. You know, Hanukkah and all of that. Go ahead.
Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread.
Right.
Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib.
Of the month of Abib. So this is what we're getting ready for. Right now, brothers are getting their garments ready. Everybody getting they menorahs. Everybody buying a menorah chain now. You know what I'm saying? Brothers want to look fly for the Passover. The Passover is like I telling brother said earlier. This is bigger than the Players Ball. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
You got it like that.
Yeah. I mean, when we first came out of Egypt, it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? When we first came out of Egypt, it wasn't like that. It was in haste. We had to eat in haste. We was getting chased. But when you read the first chapter of Esdras and you see what King Josiah did, now that was
Big time.
super big. You know what I'm saying? All types of meats, all types of food. You know what I mean? They had, and that's why there's really nothing wrong with, we keep a tradition of man. We do. You know, we keep the tradition of the elders of One West, where we only have, you know, goat and lamb and bread, you know, unleavened bread and the herbs and a little bit of salad. But the salad ain't in the law, but somehow, some way, salad is always there. You know, there's nothing wrong with having mac and cheese and jerk chicken and all of this stuff if it don't have yeast in it. But do it after the Seder meal. After the Seder meal, you know, you can have a buffet if you want. That's what Josiah had.
You just can't have bread.
Right. You can't have anything with yeast.
Leaven, yeah.
Anything with leaven in it, yeast, leavening agents. Right.
Yeah.
You know. So go ahead.
For in it thou camest out of Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty.
Right. So the Passover, you're not supposed to come empty-handed. You know, and if you ain't got no money, you couldn't pay the fee. Try to get $20 and bake some unleavened bread. You know what I'm saying? Bring a pan of unleavened bread. Bring some horseradish as bitter herb. Okay, so I was gonna go into Esdras, but it's really about the Passover. Let's go to Exodus. Exodus 34 and 18 as well. And then we're gonna go to Deuteronomy 16.
This is Exodus chapter 34, verse 18. The feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee in the time of the month of Abib. For in the month of Abib thou camest out of Egypt.
So now we're reading the same thing twice in 2 different chapters. This is the Most High. See, you have the reason why we got to keep, and I dropped the ball on it. Yaikwa put it up today, but I should have put a reminder in the text, because you could give niggas calendars, you could give them, you know what I'm saying, and they just don't read it. And then they ask, Priest Abib always bring it out, then they ask, well, when is the new moon, Elder? We just sent you the whole damn breakdown of the new moon. You got the whole year. But brothers don't want to read that. So sometimes we got to send a text to remind Israel, because Israel is a short attention span. Israel has a short attention span. There's some brothers that can calculate things a little quicker and easier, but you got to keep reminding brothers. So the Most High reminded us twice in the chapter right after another. You know what I'm saying? A couple chapters after. And when you go into the rest of it, it's speaking about the feast, the new moons, the feast of first fruits, the feast of tabernacles. So it just goes reiterating. The Most High reiterates everything. Let's go to that. Deuteronomy 16.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
See, so once again, does it say celebrate the month of Abib or celebrate the day of Abib? It don't say that. But what is the day that the Abib starts? It's a new moon. So what's the highest new moon of all of them? Of all the years, the whole year. This is the top, right? This is the top of the top. So what's the highest new moon?
Abib.
No.
Passover.
No, Passover before.
Oh, well, I mean,
The highest new moon is during the spiritual,
Day of Atonement.
Atonement.
the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets.
Oh,
That falls on the new moon. That's the highest new moon. See, so that's why there's a spiritual new year, and then there's the physical new year. Okay, so that's the highest new moon. This is the top new moon, if it makes sense to you. There's a high new moon, and then there's the top new moon. So just like, and I always give that example and analogy, Peter was the rock, and Peter was the head disciple, but spiritually, it was Paul. You could have a physical leader, but then you could have a spiritual leader. You understand? There's somebody that got the rank, but then there's somebody else that you might go to and deal with within the body, and that's, the spiritual leader. So that's the way Peter and Paul was. And I always use that. I haven't got an argument back, but Paul says it himself. He was the chiefest of apostles. And he wasn't boasting, he was just speaking truth. This is a little commentary here, right? And that's the other word for it. The month of Abib is later called Nisan. All right? It says, on today's Jewish calendar, it marks the beginning of the religious year. The festival of Passover celebrates the Lord's passing over the homes of believing Israelites in Egypt. And it says the chapter gives only a summary statement on the 3 great yearly feasts of the Israelite calendar. More complete legislation is found in Exodus 12 and 23, where we just came from, Leviticus 23, and Numbers 28. But see, even the commentary. Some of the commentary you gotta be able to spit out the bones, because one place it tells you on today's Jewish calendar, and then the other one it tells you the feast of the Israelite calendar. Just say it's the Israelite calendar. They just gotta throw that in there. You see, so the commentary, a lot of it be good, because these historians they got certain history, you know. So if you got a Bible that got commentary, read it to get a little bit of more understanding on whatever you're reading. I advise that to everybody. All right, let's go to Jeremiah.
Good.
No, not Jeremiah. Numbers. The Numbers.
28.
Yeah. Then we're just gonna go to quick new moon scriptures. And that's about it. Say up these prayers.
This is Numbers chapter 28, verse 16. And in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. And in the 15th day of this month is the feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. And the first day shall be in a holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein, but ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish.
Right, so we going into, again, the Passover, because this goes hand in hand. This is when you know we're getting ready for the Passover. This is preparation. You got certain people that can't come out because they still working on their garments. They working on, you know, there's a lot of move around. We was talking about who gonna store the lamb, who gonna store the goat, you know. So, and even with that, I asked brothers, well, okay, if we get a couple of lambs and goats, we rehearsing the righteous acts, but what goat or lamb are we gonna kill the night before? Because that's according to the law. Now we just cut one lamb, you know, we good, because that'll be the Seder meal lamb, and then everything else will be secondary. But according to the law, we supposed to kill the lamb the night before.
Kind of the 14th day. Yeah.
You know, so and cook it that same day. So that's according to the law, and it would be dope that if everybody can pull up so we can do the slaughtering of the lamb, everybody can see it, you know. And
They gonna allow us?
Most High willing, they should be able to, you know. And you see somebody cut the throat of the lamb, and you know, we get some blood, get the blood. Nah, you put the blood in a little bowl. You can't throw it. They probably never rent us the spot ever again. When they come back, they see blood on the damn door. But you could take the blood and sprinkle it on a tree that's around. You know what I'm saying? It's just rehearsing the
I heard
righteous acts.
somebody say mix it with water so that you would throw it on there, but it would like drain down.
What about if you tape the doorpost and put it on the tape over the door?
I don't know.
You don't want to mess around, because they just gonna be looking crazy. There's supposed to be a security officer, right? Police officer. Now he's in the car outside. They see people putting blood on the damn door.
Yeah.
They gonna be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just gonna look crazy, you know. So we gotta move a little bit more differently, man. You know. So let's go to the new moon scriptures out. Give me Isaiah 66:15, and everybody can find a new moon scripture and participate. So y'all gotta find a new moon scripture, because there's plenty of them, and raise your hand and y'all read them. Baba Kushal.
Isaiah 66:15.
66:23.
This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
Right. Now, the in Deuteronomy, it tells you 3 times a year all men shall appear. So that's when there's no excuse for men unless they're unclean, right? And then even with that, the Most High tells you got to do it the next month after. So, but here it tells you what? All flesh shall come. So every Sabbath, unless the woman, the women are unclean, they can't participate. But if they're clean, they supposed to be there. But it's telling you all flesh. So this is men, women, and children. Don't bring the dog, don't bring the cat, leave them at home. But all flesh supposed to come. So, Con. Somebody else got one?
What Ezekiel 46 and 6.
You got one? Ezekiel 46 and 6?
Yeah, they say.
Okay.
And in the day of the new moon, it shall be a young bullock without blemish, 6 lambs, and a ram shall be without blemish. That's 46 and 6, Ezekiel.
Con. Who else got one?
First Chronicles chapter 23, verse 31. And to offer all burnt sacrifices unto the Lord in the Sabbaths, in the new moons, and on the set feasts, by number, according to the order commanded unto them continually before the Lord.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 81 and verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day.
Right. And see, I left my damn shofar, so yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, that usually never happens, but I did. It happened actually maybe one time before.
That's how I'm about to. That's the next thing I'm buying.
Come. So you had
Got a little bit more for me to read.
you had Psalms, right? You got one back there?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is Colossians chapter 2, verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days.
Come.
Come.
Right. So what is that? Don't let a Christian run up on you and say, well, see, we can eat pork. It says don't judge you on meat. No, that's talking about
Lawful meat.
right, lawful meats. Certain people don't want to eat no damn meat. And then they try to push that vegan doctrine. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a vegan, but don't push that on brothers and sisters that don't want to hear it. Go eat your leaves over there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit more. It was a little bit more meat on it. I wanted to try.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start from the top one more time. Blow up the trumpet. Psalms 81 and 3 is where I'm starting. Blow up the trumpet in the moon, in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and a law of the God of Jacob. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, while I heard a language that I understood not.
You wanted Psalms 81?
Somebody just read. You just read something.
Yes.
Who had? Any of y'all had another one? Had one in the back?
Isn't there one like in Numbers 10 and 10 or something?
Yeah. Get the one in Numbers. And I'm just gonna read maybe a little bit real quick of this Esdras. Not too much. But find that Numbers and read it out.
It doesn't say new moon, but it says your wants.
Go ahead.
This is Numbers chapter 10, verse 10. Also, in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, wait, KJV? Yes, KJV. In your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow the trumpet over your burnt offerings, and over the sacrifices of peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God.
Come, all praises. Yeah, these are ordained days, and we're in the season. That's why it says appointed season. You got to know when's your appointed season. If you haven't the month of Abib, you got your Passover in October. You're off season. Now we're not judging you on it, but you're way off course.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That it just don't make sense. If you have Hanukkah in July, yeah, you're way off, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's you know what comes with a lot of that confusion too. It may sound crazy and there's no shot, but that lunar calendar. The lunar calendar is just confusion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got the Sabbath on a Monday 1 month, then the Sabbath on a Tuesday the next month. So it's a little bit of confusion.
The only thing that because I kind of like tried to study and learn it more. The months, it makes sense. The months are easy. You can break the months down. It's just I don't know how to get the Shabbat days out of the lunar calendar. Like I don't know how to go by that, and that's a confusing thing. I still look into it because there's some, Amalekites or Jewish people that do the lunar calendar. There are some, but like when I see how they calculate it, it's like hard. It's hard to understand the days. That's why I understood in Genesis, the first chapter, it talks about how he made the days for the greater light for days and the lesser light for months or seasons, because the new moons is for seasons and months. So it makes sense that the new moons are for months and feasts, and the days is for the Shabbat day, the light. So it made sense to me. That's why I still look into it, but it's still kind of hard to understand.
Con. Real quick, let's go to Esdras, first Esdras chapter 1, verse 1. And then we're gonna skip down to read a couple scriptures. Start from first verse.
This is first Esdras chapter 1 and 1. And Josiah held the feast of the Passover in Jerusalem unto his Lord, and offered the Passover the 14th day of the first month.
The month of Abib. Okay, go ahead.
Having set the priests according to their daily courses,
Go ahead.
being arrayed in long garments in the temple of the Lord.
So they was arrayed in their long garments. It wasn't wearing shirts with fringes. Ain't nothing wrong. We in the urban now. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But on the Passover, we supposed to be fully girded. Every man child supposed to be fully girded with staff in your hand. So even if you ain't got a girdle, a girdle made by a brother or a sister, go get a ninja belt or something. Go get an army belt, put it around your waist, or you can get one of them headscarves. One of the headscarves and tie it around your waist. But you need to be girded, and you gotta have shoes on your feet too. Can't come with barefoot. All right, I don't know who would come barefoot, but the scriptures tell you that. So obviously Israelites was coming barefoot. You know what I'm saying? And it was actually because you're supposed to keep the Passover in your house.
Right.
So you couldn't be barefoot in your house. I'm just going to keep the Passover. You coming out. Nah, put shoes on your feet. So that was part of it too.
It's a lot.
Two,
They didn't have Most I didn't give them a lot of time to get everything together for the Passover. It was
Right.
Get in there, get your food, gird your loins up, eat real fast, get up out of there. So it wasn't like, put everything together like that. So.
That's part of the unleavened cakes also. But you didn't have time to look for all the ingredients to make it puffed up and all that. Now it was quick, wham, bam, thank you, man. And sometimes you hungry, right? You ain't got nothing. You don't feel like making nothing big. Was the first thing you grab? Bread and cheese and grilled cheese, or a can of tuna, peanut butter jelly. You know what I'm saying? So that was what we did. That was just the time, the way the Most High set it up. And it's all in remembrance. But go ahead.
And he spake unto the Levites, the holy ministers of Israel, that they should allow themselves,
Hollow.
hallow themselves unto the Lord, to set the holy ark of the Lord in a house that King Solomon, the son of David, built.
So they were supposed to carry the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, go ahead.
And said, Ye shall no more bear the ark upon your shoulders.
Right.
Now, therefore, serve the Lord your God, and minister unto his people Israel, and prepare you after your families and kindreds,
Uh-huh.
according as David the king of Israel prescribed, and according to the magnificence of Solomon his son, and standing in the temple according to the several dignity of the families of you, the Levites, who minister in the presence of your brethren, the children of Israel.
Right. Go ahead.
Offer the Passover in order, and make ready the sacrifices for your brethren, and keep the Passover according to the commandment of the Lord, which was given unto Moses.
So, see, Esdras, he kept the Passover according to the commandment, and he told the people to do that. Right? Go ahead.
And unto the people was found there Josiah gave 30,000 lambs and kids,
30,000 lambs. Okay, go ahead.
3,000 calves.
3,000 cows. Go ahead.
These things were given of the king allowance,
Uh-huh.
according as he promised to the people, to the priests, and to the Levites.
Right. So there was more meats, and he did it according to the commandment. He told the Levites to do it according to the commandment, so he had to be doing it according to the commandment. And if he didn't, the Levites would have checked him. Okay, go ahead.
Hilkias, Zacharias, and Salias, the governors of the temple, gave the priests for the Passover 2,600 and 600 sheep and 300 calves.
So 2,600 sheep, 2,600 sheep, and 300 calves. Okay, go ahead.
And Jechonias and Samias and Nathaniel his brother, and Asabias and Okiel and Jeram, captains over thousands, gave to the Levites for the Passover 500 sheep,
5,000.
5,000 sheep and 700 calves.
So there's more meats coming in. That's you got brother said, well, we got 4 sheep. Should I buy an extra one just so we can have? Other brothers trying to buy goats. I'm trying to get a goat. So everybody bringing. You're not supposed to come empty-handed. That's showing you that the king had enough, but everybody's bringing their sacrifice also. Okay. So now, when you read it, you can read the rest of it on yourself, and see how great this was. But we're gonna skip down to the 18th verse. Matter of fact, to the 17th verse.
First Ezra chapter 1 verse 17. Thus were the things that belonged to the sacrifices of the Lord accomplished in that day,
Right.
that they might hold the Passover,
That's right. Go ahead.
and offer sacrifices upon the altar of the Lord, according to the commandment of King Josiah.
Right. They had to listen to the king, but he was doing it in righteousness. Okay. Go ahead.
So the children of Israel, which were present, held the Passover at that time, the feast of sweet bread, 7 days.
So there was sweet bread. They had all types of bread. You can make all types of bread. You can even make cookies if you want. You can make cookies as long as they don't have leaven in them. You can make cupcakes as long as they don't have leaven in them. It's unleavened bread, unleavened cakes. Okay, so you can do whatever. If you wanna you wanna make edibles without leaven, you can make edibles without leaven. Some brothers is into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest, but as long as it don't have
Leaven.
leaven.
Yeah.
Okay?